We should be taking the smartest, the most artistic, the most hardworking people of other countries and bringing them here so that we can have America continue to flourish. America is no longer a manufacturing country like those that are overseas.
We came to this country is for good education, good jobs, good life. Are we getting that? If yes, good. If no, why is that getting compromised? And those illegal immigrants are compromising that.
New Jersey is, I would say, it is broken. So somebody has to come and step in and to fix the New Jersey, as we are expecting the Republican governor can do all these things.
If you want to really live a safe life, become Republican, believe in the principles of Republican, and vote for Republicans.
I'm really excited about doing this panel today, truly, because we are in New Jersey talking to a group of Indian Americans in the state of New Jersey. We're putting a lot of focus on New Jersey this year and talking about the issues that are concerning various citizens and communities. And so I think this is an awesome opportunity to hear from people in the Indian community. So let's start today by getting to know you, who you are, and tell us a little about yourself.
Okay, my name is Hemant Bhatt, and I'm the founder and chairman of Asian American Republican Coalition, which is known as ARC. And I was also on the Indian Voices for Trump committee, which was constituted by Trump campaign in 2020. And we worked for his campaign in 2015, 20, as well as in 24.
Thank you.
So,
Hi, my name is Rosie Takar. I'm a co-founder for an organization for mental health called United for Impact. That is for youth and veterans for their mental health, as well as I sit on the board for Jersey First. I also sit on the board with Elizabeth Nader on Women for Common Sense. I'm a mother of 2 kids, raised them here. I'm a pissed off mom though. And I'm also a wife and a small business owner.
Thank you.
My name is Anjan Karnati. I am an IT professional and I've been living in Middlesex County for the last 26 years. And I am a small business owner and I have small real estate, partnerships. And I've been working in this IT profession and I've been helping to the Republican candidates in the political way, conservative values. I'm very pro-conservative, hardworking, and I'm stepping up and putting my neck out in the public and standing in the elections as a candidate. And this year, I'm a elected candidate for county commissioner in November upcoming elections.
Excellent.
Hi, my name is Neil Shah. I work for a telecom company here in Jersey. I'm a father of 2, and I also am a former candidate. I ran in 2023 for state senate.
Excellent. So in front of you, you've all got paddles that say yes and no. So we're going to start off by asking you a question. Please raise the paddle that corresponds with the answer that you would like to give. So the question is, well, it's really a statement. Yes or no, I walked away from the Democratic Party. All right, we have 2 yeses on the table. So let's start with you gentlemen first. What was your experience with the Democrats and why did you walk away?
The reason I walked away because I was as a registered Democrat earlier, and because the values, whatever it is, have been facing regarding the property taxes within local and state level and federal level. So always the taxes are going up crazy, and also nothing is we are getting the benefits back to the residents. That I feel, and also in New Jersey specific too. All the costs, healthcare costs, all the expenses are going up very rapidly. However, we are not getting, proper education for our children within the schools. They are putting in the trailers, and that is also one thing. And I see that lot of, abuse of the funds or budget, how they are spending our tax dollars really, not reaching the benefits, mandatory benefits or optional benefits. They are really, I see that lot of wastage.
Why were you a Democrat in the first place?
Because when I came to this country, by default, I registered as a Democrat, because I was not aware of really much. So that is a fact, actually, I would say that.
No, that's helpful. That's helpful because I do think that with a lot of people who immigrate to the United States, they get the messaging early on. If you just came here, you should be a Democrat.
Yes,
So
that is-
somebody told you that.
The
That's
democratic values, I thought that it is really helpful for the public, all the residents, all the citizens of America. But it is other way, it is a varying, because we grew up as a conservative values back in India, and we have very conservative, hardworking people. We have to save the money, and we have to give the good education to our children and next generations, right? We have to pass on.
Hamad, you also said yes.
Yes, because basically, like I landed in this land, America, in 2001, and I was seen that 9/11. I landed on June 1st, 2001, and September 9 is there was a horrible attack on the Twin Towers in New York. So basically, like at that time, I was not knowing what's going on here. I came with the impression that this is a safe country and all that. But when I witnessed that kind of horror attack, and I was really, my family,
10 months
everybody was
after you
scared.
got here.
Yeah, they were scared of what's going on. We have come here with a lot of safety things and all that. So basically, back home, we have a democracy. India is a democratic nation. And America is the oldest one. America is the largest democracy in the world. And so when I came here, I naturally thought that as the Democratic Party we have in India, we have the Democratic Party belongs to us, which will match with our thinking and ideology. Unfortunately, when I became citizen in 2006, and I registered as I told you that democracy in India, Democratic Party here, which will definitely match with my thinking and everything. Of course, as you said, that we are conservative back home, religious people, family oriented, lot of family values, everything we match with the Republican Party here. In 2015, President Trump announced that he is running for the US president. And when he announced that in that elevator which was coming down in the Trump Tower, and I was looking at him, and I started observing that what he is doing. I listened to his speech, and I thought that, my God, this. And then I never knew that he's coming from the platform of the Republican Party. And when I listened to him, I asked a couple of my friends that, what is Republican Party?
After 15 years of being in the country.
Unfortunately, Republican Party is unable to give effective message to the people.
Amen.
Number one. Number two, most of the people have impression that is not party of the common man. Mm-hmm. Number three is Republican Party is unable to reach out to the ground level people, and that is why when anybody migrates to this nation, they only understand there is a Democratic Party and we have to be Democrat. So I would, through your medium, I would like to request all Republican leaders that please make hard effort to give a message to the people that they are also there. You are one of the very important oldest Republican Party of America, which has more sense, which has more ideology, which has more principles to safeguard America, to protect the interest of America. America is first. Lot of things which we are now seeing under the presidency of President Trump. Correct. This is what exactly the Indian people wanted.
Hamad, I so appreciate you saying that, because that's a big reason why I do what I do with WalkAway, is because I feel like there's not effective marketing and messaging happening for people to understand the truth about what conservatism really is, what the Republican Party really is, but the Democrats have really dominated that. Rosie, you raised the no paddle, which means you did not get indoctrinated by the Democrats at any point. Tell us about it.
So I was unaffiliated for the longest time. But at the same time, just like everybody else does, I did my homework, looked around, and I was looking for leadership that would resonate with the Indian values. Now, the next question is, what are the Indian values? We want to raise our family here, our kids who can get good education, good food, good shelter, good living, peaceful and sort of protected environment, but at the same time get better jobs here. And that's what I was thinking, okay, Republicans resonate, kind of realigned the same way. Then I became a Republican.
So I was born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. I came out of the womb a Republican.
Okay.
It is the most Republican area that you've ever been to. So It goes back to the core American values, Midwestern values. You go to work, you build a life, you build a home, you provide for your family. Your children have the best opportunities to be successful. And that's what my father actually, when he came from India in the 60s, he brought those values to Cincinnati and they created that group there. So, yeah, I didn't walk away. I have embraced it, and I don't like when it goes too far, right? I think it's more about being a person that is understanding and tolerant of other people's way of life and building, but the core values are usually the same with most people, right? Make sure that we are able to make enough money to be able to provide for our families, that we have the same opportunities that everybody else does, if not better, because we are focused on that. And it's purely based on my upbringing, what I've been around, the people that I've been surrounded with, and as I've gotten older, I've been able to be tailor that value, that core message, a little bit better, and try to implement it into my family, right? We allow our children to think freely. Just because we follow the Republican values, we don't force it upon others. And I think that's one of the keys to being a Republican. These are our values, but we're not forcing it on you.
Yes. All right, so I have another question for you. We're talking today with a group of Indian Americans in New Jersey. My question for you, raise your paddle, yes or no. I am a first-generation American immigrant. Yes, yes, and no. So that's interesting because we've got two of our former Democrats who walked away, first-generation American immigrants, one who was never a Democrat, first-generation American immigrant, and never a Democrat, and you are the child of first-generation American immigrants. So I want to start with you. Were your parents more conservative or more?
Very conservative.
Okay.
Very conservative. And it's funny because they landed in a conservative town. My father came to this country, he went to college here, and then from there he moved to Cincinnati, which is an extremely conservative town. Another thing that's funny is that I married a first-generation Indian American. My wife is from Bombay. So we have, it's beautiful in our home that we have both sides of way of looking at life, right? So we have the American-born son and we have the Indian-born daughter that have kind of melded into what our children are today. But if you really look at it and you peel back the layers, you do see that we have similar interests and we have similar values and similar cores, that it didn't change just because my parents came here and were assimilated into a country that was different from where they were born and raised. And I know time changes and people start to have different values as they get older, but there's really not that much difference between what I grew up with and what my wife grew up with.
Well, I want to explore that though a little bit because according to a lot of studies, the second generation, a lot of Indian Americans are becoming more liberal. And Rosie, you have children.
Yes.
Does everybody have children?
Yes.
What do you see happening in your own family?
So I see, they get influenced by what they hear in school, their friend circles during the lunch hours, during the college times. My kids are done with college, so they're much older. So I have seen them during that journey, starting from the kindergarten all the way to college, their perception, their ideas change as their friend circle changes. So depending upon what they hear is what they believe. And that exactly happens to all of us until we do our homework. Same thing happened with my kids. We have that struggle. We have that conversation at the dinner tables all the time. I'm a Republican and they have different views. So we sometimes have to tell them, this is why I am a Republican. Now, my daughter, she always has this idea, why are you moving towards Republican? So my thing is, I did not really think that I'm crossing party lines. That was never the intention. I was more drawn towards people who were inspiring me. Aura Dunn, she was working, Assemblywoman Aura Dunn, she was working passionately towards mental health. That was my issue too, because I was seeing, you have to understand, kids of the immigrants, they do go through a certain different kind of culture shock phases where they're trying to blend in. So they are getting the first heat as well. So I saw kids getting bullied in school. There was HIV harassment, intimidation, and bullying happening. So then I started participating. I became a member of the PTA. I served for, I think, 11 years. Then I graduated to be on the President's Advisory Board for Drexel University. So then I was monitoring kids, because that's what we are talking about, kids. I have seen different group of kids change their views in 2-3 years. Now, I was walking towards these people who were inspiring me. Assemblywoman Matsi Kudis, Assemblywoman Nancy Munoz, then our Senator Mike Testa, our Senator Tony Bucco. These are the people who were doing the work that I wanted my kids to grow up doing, or they were inspiring me. So when I looked around, I was in those circles of Republicans, not intentionally, but it just so happened that it was aligned. My kids, on the other hand, they are sometimes, their values align with the Republicans, but they are brainwashed. That's what I think.
And Joan, what about your kids?
My kids, actually, I have son and daughter. My son is completely Republican. He's completely 100% supporting me in all elections. My daughter is Democrat. Still, I could not able to convince her, convert into it.
How old is she?
She is 37.
Okay.
And she's grown.
She's still got some time.
She got some time. But thing is, it is a challenge always, right? They never accept, I am a conservative. She is also conservative, but she is still, leaning liberal side, But my son and my wife and in my family all are Republican and support me as a candidate, and they're supporting me in elections. Last time they did very well, and with all friends and families. I did good job in the last elections as a council at large. We lost in few votes only. This time I would like to do it better and represent.
Yes. And how about you with your kids?
Okay, that's really a good question. By grace of God, my wife, my son, my daughter, all are Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We all migrated from India, so they know the conservative values and everything. Initially, they were not very much political, but after I started my organization, I think they are all after the Republican Party.
Well, you brought up the issue of immigration, and so I want to talk about that because the Biden administration, they've estimated brought anywhere from 12 to 20 million illegal migrants into this country. Now, everybody here either immigrated to our country legally or is the child of people who immigrated to our country legally. How do you feel about that, the surge of illegal migrants that have come into our country? Let's go to Rosie first.
Okay. It's quite devastating because at the same time, everybody feels the same thing. When illegal immigrants are coming, they're not vetted out. We were vetted out. We all waited for several years before we got the status. When we we stood in line for years and years before we actually became the American citizens. And right now, this is exactly what we keep on discussing. Our next generation is the one who's going to be beaten up first on that one. Why? Because when the illegal immigrants come in, they take away not just the jobs, they take away not just not just the education part. Our school systems, they get sort of out of whack. Their equation gets messed up. This citizens' kids are not getting the education, not getting the medical, everything that they deserve. Illegals are getting first.
Yep.
So it's so strange that we did the right way, but we're not getting what we deserve. Then there comes a group of people who illegally came, they're getting it first. Also, our hospital beds. When you need hospital attention, our kids do not get the hospital attention that they need. Even in school system, when they're sitting in classrooms, they're not getting the education that they deserve, that they're here for. That's what we came here for. Remember that. We do come from good families. The reason we left that country, we left that citizenship, and we came to this country is for good education, good jobs, good life. Are we getting that? If yes, good. If no, why is that getting compromised? And those illegal immigrants are compromising that.
Ahmad.
Okay, see, basically, it is very unfair to the people who have become citizen. She very rightly said that who become citizen after following all due process like fingerprinting, application, paying $600 fees to the immigration department, taking a oath and all that. So we are stupid. Those people who are crossing the border, they are intelligent than us. This is something, a very, very burning question. Like the people who cross this border without any kind of, so basically the system is so much misused. The lawyers are sitting there on the border. They teach the guy what he has to speak. And this guy is coming here and he's telling this and he's being entered into the country. Nobody knows where is he going. Some date is being given to him or her and then nobody follows or takes them. So basically, like, if you very rightly said, this is a burden to our system. We do not have that kind of burden with the system right now. We cannot afford to have 21 million people crossing US border, coming to us, mixing with us. See the crime rates. Take the example of Riley. But the rapes, the murder, the theft. We want to be a safe country. We do not want the people coming from outside, like MS-13 gang, and look at all this. We are unfortunately victim. They say they are victims. They are not victims. They are the people who trespassed our country. They are the people who has come and addressed our country. We are the victims actually. We are unfortunately unable to really. Listen, you must have seen the Newark jail. That ICE facility.
Right.
The Democrat stupid people, they are going and they are trespassing. They are doing something. I cannot believe that these guys have lost the election only because of illegal immigration. And these guys still trying to support them. People are remembering. I'm telling you, midterm is going to be very expensive for them, very costly for them. And let me tell you one more thing. People have observed all 7 swing states. Why President Trump won? All the America, he has given the record 77 million votes. Which Democrats are unable to even digest what has happened, what people want. And that is why they are going to lose the midterm election big time. I'm very sure about it. And they should understand. Sometimes, what I talk to my friends, let them do what they are doing. Let them continue commit mistakes. It is in our favor.
And John, Hamad brought up the crime, murder, rape. Of course, we have fentanyl, in our country now, drugs, gangs, all of these different things. Now, the Democrats kind of play this emotional game where they call them undocumented immigrants. That, in a way, sort of puts these people, and of course, not every person who comes into our country illegally is a gangster or a murderer, certainly. But if you are a gangster and you are a murderer and you are these things, you're coming into our country illegally. That's a fact. That part is a fact. So the Democrats want to almost create this narrative like these people are the same as you. Do you think that that's fair? That somebody who immigrates to this country illegally is classified in the same category as somebody who's an undocumented immigrant?
So I would say first thing is, every person who are coming to this country, they have to follow certain path, legitimate path, regulatory path. They should follow everyone. So which is not happened in the last administration. That is really bad. So our current president, Trump really forced first executive order signed, border security, and also eliminating all the criminals and, deporting. That is happening. That we have to do it. Whether it is a Democratic national level, it is a Republican, doesn't matter. We have to protect our country, our own America first, and protect ourselves safe and neighborhood and reduce the criminals first. Then only we can do some certain activities to promote the activities to whatever the neighborhood residents. That I've said that. Thank you.
Thank you. Neil, what are your thoughts?
So basically, what these three have said is spot on in the sense of why they feel that way. But we didn't get to the core of why the Democrats are doing this. Yeah. They're doing this because they want to create that base. They want to have that pipeline of people. Everyone here said that when they came from India to this country, they came as Democrats because India is the largest democracy in the world. So when they left India, they thought democracy meant Democrat. So they came here with that ideology. And the Democrats played up to it. Initially, they would say, we're going to provide you with housing, we're going to provide you with this. So these families remember why that they should be voting Democrats. And it is a farce, right? They only want you here for your votes. They want to manipulate so they can stay in power. how I look at it from the perspective of being a child of an immigrant, having that opportunity to grow up in this country and being able to prosper from that experience, there has to be a path to immigration. Immigration is not going anywhere.
Correct.
This country needs to have immigration, but it needs to have it done properly and for the right reasons. We should be taking the smartest, the most artistic, the most hardworking people of other countries and bringing them here so that we can have America continue to flourish. America is no longer a manufacturing country like those that are overseas. We are the country of innovators. We are the country that leads, right? So we still need to bring those people here so that our country continues to lead. So there has to be a path to immigration. It's not as bad as what people say with the murders and things like that. There's a percentage. I understand that. But if we have a proper path, we will be able to control who comes into our country and we can continue to lead that.
To that, I'm going to add, it is not that difficult if you're going to vet someone. Everybody should be vetted and brought in according to a process. If there's a process in place, regardless of which party is in leadership, they have to follow those rules. If they do that, then the following or the upcoming generations are not going to go through what we feel it's coming. These are testing times. Everybody, leadership, regardless of what side of the party line you are, you need to reflect, reevaluate what the values are so that going forward, any decisions that are made at this time, there will be generations to come that are going to pay the price and the consequences are going to be dire. Everybody needs to figure out what the right system is.
So waiting at the time of when they file the papers for immigration, green card and citizenship, not when they cross the border. Waiting at the border is also not acceptable because by earlier they were waiting asylum seekers.
Vetting and following the process. That's what I said. Yeah. So
There's a time limit, right? India and China have a quota. You can only immigrate from India and China up to a certain percentage of the total immigration. So it becomes a point where you're X amount of years old and you want to cut the line. You don't want to wait 10, 15 years to get your green card, right? So you come here as a student, you come here on a visiting visa, and you love the country so much, as all of us do, and you decide to stay back.
But just because someone wants that does not mean it's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
So that's where the power of the platform, comes in the hands of the leadership.
That's what drives the want.
Correct.
Like in India, because I know of India, and that's why I'm going to use India as a country of... in India, you are not seeing a lot of people leave there to come here if they have money.
Yeah.
They have proper education. If they have all of the benefits of being a citizen in another country. Those are the people that don't have the benefits or want to have a little bit more come from there to here.
I disagree because my side of the family has, I'm going on camera and saying this, am I? Generational wealth. Like if my husband and I did not work for the next 10 years, the next several years, but next 2-3 generations will be well fed. However, my husband came here at the age of 13, went through school system, understood the values of this country, and he wanted to make a name for himself. So he came, not because he didn't have everything. So there are all kind of people coming in. Yeah. So there are some very highly educated people coming from absolutely
for education
amazing. Yeah, but then they come for education, then they stay here because they want to create a life that they feel they can do better here.
See, I just add what she has said. Anyone coming on education visa, visitor visa, they don't right to overstay here. They have to stay in this country only for the purpose they were migrated, and we do not want the people who overstay here. And then so once the visa expired, they become illegal no matter what. And these people are also again a burden to our system. Whatever visa you have, stay until that time and get the hell out of here.
Process and rules have to be abided by. This is a land of opportunity. But is it going to stay that way if we are going to continue to bring in illegals?
Exactly.
The opportunity that I got, is that going to be provided to my kids or their kids next? I don't think so, because look where we are headed. Our next generation, the entire generation is running out of time, have no jobs.
This might be a good opportunity to ask another question with our paddles. So to open this up a little bit more. Since we're already on the topic, let's just go ahead and say, Yes or no, America needs immigration reform?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and let Neil start because I feel like you have an opinion about this.
See, I don't.
Everyone does, apparently.
I don't necessarily agree with what these three are saying, and not in a bad way.
That's okay.
I think that immigration is necessary, and I need it to be for the right reasons. I understand it's very passionate to say, get the hell out of here, because we're looking at it from a perspective of we are here, we are prospering, we are taking advantage of the American dream. But when you look at it from the perspective of that individual that's come here and wants to stay and wants to have the same as you, that brings it to, again, going back to how I said in the beginning, my views as a Republican are tailored. I'm not necessarily agreeing that they should come here illegally. I'm saying that there should be a path to legality. And that means that they are paying the taxes that we are. They're not absorbing the services that the government, and they are not brought here for votes. I get all of that. But we have to look at the human side of this. And the human side is that every person that comes here illegally or legally comes here with a dream. And that dream is to have what we all have, right?
Yes.
And so when you ask the questions for do things need to change in immigration, I put my paddle up because I think there has to be a path. If you go to the DMV and there's a line, you're gonna wait in line because you need your driver's license. You're not gonna cut the line and go out, right? Yeah. So if there's a path and there's an actual order to get from where you are to where you wanna be, and it's clearly defined, that's exactly where I think that will actually reduce the burdens that we have.
Well, I'm a little confused by what you're saying because it almost sounds like you're saying we don't have an immigration process. It may be broken or it may be long or inconvenient. Well, fine, but we do have one.
Right.
Yes, Andrew.
So we do have the immigration policies and already set laws are there. But people are, abusing and also overridden, and they're not really implementing existing policies 100%. If they really implement the existing policies 100%, definitely it will be. But reforms may be needed. The reason is, based on our need and based on the industry need and manufacturing need, whatever it is needed, and definitely there is a reform. But if you use 100% the existing policy in place, that will be enough to, clear up this one.
And the rules are different for everybody. If you're a Canadian citizen, you can become a citizen of America within a short period of time. Yes. If you're a UK citizen, you can become a citizen of the United States in a short period of time. If you're Far East Asian or Southeast Asian, it takes almost half a generation to become a citizen.
Why is that?
I don't know. Is it because the amount of people that want to come here?
No, the reason is there is a quota, and because the quota is already fulfilled and based on the existing policy,
so there's a wait line at
existing immigration policies. Example, for the immigrants are coming, H1B workers, IT workers, there are 60,000, 70,000 is the limit. So you cannot get more. So that kind of stuff, there are several categories. Teachers are coming, J1 visa. That is also immigration. There is a limit. But if you follow those path existing policies, definitely I think there will be enough room, and also if they give the token number also in serial number, they don't need to wait for the green card 10, 20 years.
But what you're saying sounds like there's more like a quota based off of profession or
Yes.
need. I get the impression Neil is saying it's more regional.
No.
Or where you come from.
It is. It's 100% regional. A doctor from India and a doctor from Canada do not have the same.
Yes, because the reason is more doctors are coming here.
Exactly. So that's why I guess we're both right, or
They're both correct. So geographically as well, it matters where you're coming from. The country of your origin matters. That expedites your visas. At the same time, number of people coming for a certain profession also matters. So everything is taken into consideration, but there are quotas. So there's limited number of people that are allowed each year, but that line is long. So there's waiting list and,
And that's where the reform comes from.
Yes.
The question that you asked us in the beginning was, is there does there need to be reform
Correct.
in the immigration process? Yes, it does.
Yes.
That has to be the reform. I don't think that there isn't a process for immigration. I believe there is, but it has to be reformed to a point where we have a clear path. Like you can ask the everyday person on the road, an immigrant, non-immigrant, do you know what it takes to get into this country? And a lot of them will jokingly say, just cross the border, because they don't know how to get here otherwise. There's no guidelines for any specific person.
We all agree that immigration should be open. However, there should be some guidelines, but it does not hurt every now and then to revisit and change a few things here and there, because the population is increasing everywhere, from India, from China. There are people coming from different backgrounds, different geographical locations, professionals. So I think reform is needed, but we are all agreeing that we all want to see immigrants come in, but the legal way.
So basically, like, I agree that reforms are required, but unfortunately, most of us do not know what reforms we should have. See, that's the basic question. Now, number two is we are spending billions and billions of dollars for the immigration system. We have big facilities and all interviews and all kind of thing. If we implement the same immigration laws at this point of time, there is no need for any reform. Number one. Number two is there should be a will to implement the immigration laws. And in the time of Biden presidency, millions and millions of people crossed the border, came here. And what does it require to stop it? Election of a president who wanted to do that. The border is stopped. The border has become legal only because a man has a will to stop the illegal immigration. So according to me, illegal immigration, first of all, we all agree that there should be processed legally. Everybody should come legally. And I also again insist, people whose visas are expired, they have no right to live here. They have purpose to come here. They have purpose to go back. They can come again with after following the process, So I'm seeing some people who are overstaying with 20 years, 15 years kind of people here in this country. They are illegally staying in this country. So where is the law? These people are ab initio breaking the law from the day on which their visa has expired. So we do not want any kind of anybody can have any kind of dream. I don't dispute that. But dream at whose cost? People who are living here, people who are citizens here. They are unfair to the people who are staying here, living here, paying taxes and follows all the laws.
So leadership has to reevaluate where we stand as of today, so that the future generation do not pay the price of our mistakes.
It's like, who's going to pick your lettuce?
Huh?
Who's going to pick your... I mean, there is a reason that we allow some of these undocumented people here.
No.
They'll do jobs that Americans won't do.
But there has to be another rule where they can be brought in a different way.
To your point, lot of farmers.
They have to be
We
wet.
cry about prices going through the roof, but we're not...
Just because you do
Our
not know
kids are not going to pick lettuce, and they're not going to...
No,
But someone who's picking your lettuce is going to murder you tomorrow, or rape a child in
Right,
your home.
exactly.
You wouldn't want that.
Number one.
We're both talking from extremes, right?
Yes,
You're
yes.
talking about murder and rape, and I'm talking about lettuce.
Yes.
There's like 1% on both.
Right.
But do you know one thing,
right.
Anil? There is a specific kind of visa for farmer labor.
No, that is, but
People
he's
are
saying,
taking
yeah.
Again, that's perfect. You know why? Because you have just brought up a point that nobody else does. Nobody really knows about these special visas, so that we can implement that. Why don't they have that more upfront? Why don't leaders not talk about
Correct.
the ways that you can become legal and to pay into our system, so that we are not giving you $15 cash under the table
Agreed.
to build my extension, or to build a school's extension, or to go and do jobs that our children will not do for a price that we can all afford.
So knowledge is important.
Knowledge is
Educating
very important.
those people who are coming from other countries is important.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, due process is also important.
You see, process is in place, but implementation is important at the border and who is coming in. But people are ready to, abuse the system and coming different.
So for that we need the people like President Trump who wants to do it.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, I grew up in a small farming community in rural Nebraska. When I was growing up, almost everybody in my community was white. And we had a lot of jobs for people who were picking vegetables, detasseling corn was a big thing. And kids did it, high school kids. It was great jobs for high school kids. Now, I'm not saying that's like the solution across the board, but why don't we have people in this country who, are the youth of today entitled? Why can't these jobs be done by Americans?
Do you know, I live in East Brunswick, New Jersey. I moved here when about 21 years ago. The average home at that time was between $250,000 and $500,000. Today, those same two homes have moved from $250,000 to $500,600,000 to $1 million, $1.1 million.
Correct.
Right? Our children, yes, you're right. If you're in high school, if you're in college, and you need that to supplement your income, there's just not enough of those kids that will do that. To actually go in and work the hard, laborious jobs, right? There are again, and I'm talking from our community, our parents, and I know I'm speaking for everyone here, but I know this is exactly how they think. Our parents want us to succeed more than we did. And hard work, blue collar jobs is something that is not discouraged, but it's also not encouraged, right?
I find that a little alarming because on the one hand, you're telling me that, we need merit-based immigration. You were talking about that earlier. We need the best of the best in America, but do we need to be bringing people from other countries because our own citizens are so lazy that they don't want to do these jobs?
So let's talk about that. Why do you think the next generation is not working hard? Like you said, when you were growing up, there were kids when you were in high school, you were doing this. Somebody was telling me we used to drop newspapers. We used to drop bottles of milk. Why are the kids these days not doing this?
They're playing video games.
But why? So is it that when they're in school, they're told that you have to go to Ivy League colleges? That's why most of the Indians and Chinese parents are like working so hard, trying their best to give them the best education. What is the best education? A degree, but no skills? A degree, but tons of your college debt? Degree, but no work ethic? Degree, but laziness? What is it? So are we blaming the next generation, or did we not train them, or did we brainwash them, or were they too entitled to do this? Which one is it?
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. And I go back to what you said, that you grew up in Nebraska. I grew up in Ohio. So we had a lot of farming land there too. The opportunity for those jobs for the locals is there, but people are not driving to Nebraska or that part of Ohio to come and do those jobs, right? Sure. They're going to the inner cities or they're going to the urban centers to get the marketing job, to get the legal job, to get the high-end job so that they can then be able to afford basic necessities now. A home, a actual freestanding home is going to cost, by the time that, in the next 10 years, is going to cost $500,000 in New Jersey. That's incredible. Because with the interest rates going up to like 7 to 9%, your income almost, it swallows your income. And so then you get to a point where, can you afford it? Can you still be able to provide that same core value? Because now you're working maybe 2 jobs because you can't afford to live, and then your children don't get to see.
This is a really interesting conversation because basically I think what you're describing, and it's kind of eye-opening, is that there's such a wider gap today between that entry-level job that we might have had as high school kids and the American dream. And probably for a lot of American kids today, they're thinking, why am I going to start here when the dream I want is so far over here? Correct. Whereas for my generation, perhaps it was more like the distance between here and here. And that makes sense to me.
To get to the house that you wanted, you didn't have to work 3 jobs. You could just work the one. It's saving money, right? And with social media and the influence that these influencers have today, that you have to have brand name clothing, you have to have the fanciest cars, you have to eat at $300 restaurants.
And that you can be an influencer. That you can make a living just doing this. Why are you going to go detassel corn when you can just do this?
Exactly.
Right.
So that's all falls on the shoulders of this generation to train the next generation and tell them that, hey, you want to become a doctor, you want to go to Ivy League colleges, that's perfectly fine. But just so you know, electrician earns a little bit, probably in upcoming future, might earn a little bit more than a doctor. So just having those kind of jobs or those kind of skill market is not a bad idea. Every human being, that's what, I went to a Catholic school. So all the nuns and everybody, they put this in us that regardless of what, it does not matter what family you belong to or you were coming from, because that was a private school, so everybody was coming from a wealthy background, or they made every effort to pay for your college or your school tuition. Every nun said that in upcoming years there will be a time in your life where you will feel, what am I good at? What skills do I have? So ask yourself, what skills do your kids have?
And also, I would say in the school system also, a little bit, they have to change vocational and trainings and
Correct.
job trainings. That is not meant. And also these kind of things, as you said, right, in the school, summer holidays, somebody has to, they do some kind of activities going into farmland and, motivate the kids, whoever is there, the middle class, upper class, doesn't matter. Kid is a kid in the school. So they have to go outside and do some kind of, helping to the farmers, helping to the local road construction or anything. Like that activities we have to promote. And otherwise what happens, nobody knows how this corn is there, how the corn grow up, nobody knows.
Right.
Oh, I didn't see this corn, how it grown. I didn't see the rice, what is rice? Where they came from? Nobody knows.
They cannot identify fruits and vegetables, what's grown on trees and bushes, right? So you have to tell your kids, you have to train the next generation. That responsibility falls on the shoulders of parents, but at the school at the same time. We would love to do that job until the government intervenes and says, I would like to co-parent. That's when everything goes down, because their co-parenting takes them to a different route altogether. While at home, Indian parents are trying to teach certain values, right? But when they go back to school, they come home with totally different ideas. They would sit with you and argue that that's not what the real world is, what you're thinking, Mom.
Yeah.
That's not how the world is going to be. And I tell her that that's how the world is going to be. My daughter, she has different views altogether. But can we say, oh, kids these days? No. Next generation needs to be directed in a certain way.
But you have to have the time.
Yes.
You have to have the time to spend with your children. And if you can't afford the house that you live in, you have to make the decision to say, do I go to work? Do I go to my second job so that my kids have a roof?
Right.
They have that opportunity? Or do I spend the time to teach them how to swing a hammer? There has to be that time. And it goes back to what everybody has been saying today, that the focus on what the governments are spending on, that efficiency has to be there. So that the pricing, the inflation, and all of that doesn't go through the roof, that we actually get to live the American dream that we left our country, well, a lot of people left their countries for, right?
All right. So here I am today with Indian Americans from New Jersey, and we're talking about issues that affect Americans, issues that affect New Jersey. We just had a big presidential race in this country last year, so I want to ask this question to Indian American voters at this table. Yes or no, is Donald Trump a racist? Hesitation, I noticed over there.
No, I just couldn't find the
All right, so everybody at the table said no. I'd like to hear about that because obviously I'm sure you're aware there's been a pervasive narrative for many years that non-Caucasian people don't vote for Donald Trump and don't support Donald Trump. Did everyone here vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, we do.
All right. What do you think about the narrative of Donald Trump being a racist?
Okay, so let me tell you this. Donald Trump is a businessman. He knows he wants to run this country as a business. He wants to make sure that America becomes great again. The recent trip to Saudi Arabia shows that he is not a racist person. He is the person who normally people view that he is against Muslims and all that. That is not the case. So he went there. He brought trillions and trillions of dollars for investment in America. So that is number one. I heard him telling one of the rallies in Expo Hall in New Jersey on 16th October 2015, I love India. He said, I love Hindus. See, basically, like, let me tell you this, that he, in this recent election, 2024, he got the more votes from Latinos, he got more votes from the Hispanic people, he got more votes from the every kind of communities. So people judged him that he is not a racist. Actually, the Democrats are racist people. They always bring the black card ahead.
Yes.
They always do something. They themselves create the problem, white supremacy and all kind of thing, which is not the reality. I'm a Republican Party. I'm interacting with so many white people. I never been felt that they are considering me as a racist person. I went to the top level of Republican Party. I mean, all the governor candidates and all assemblymen, everything. They welcomed me. I never felt that they considered me as a racist. Similarly,
And you're a former Democrat. You were not always a Republican.
no.
Yes.
So I'm a former Democrat. I become a Republican, and then of course that was now I feel that it was a mistake, and that was done in ignorance. I mean, I never knew that this is what the party stands for, and what the Republican Party is standing for.
When you were a Democrat, did you believe the Republican Party was racist? Had you heard that?
I haven't been much. I mean, Republican Party is very, very big in messaging. Let me tell you.
Very weak with messaging.
They are very weak with messaging.
Yes.
They don't resonate with the people, ground level people. If the New Jersey is a democratic state, lot of people, even the Trump has got only 5% less votes than Harris. Why? People know that he is a Republican. Because the messaging at that time of 224 was very effective. People were tired of this illegal immigration, people were tired of inflation, people were tired of so many things. So Republican Party has to have very effective messaging to the core of the issues, to the hearts of the people. And I'm telling you, if the same situation, I mean, the currently what the administration is doing, the young team, J.D. Vance, then all these young people who is in the administration, these people will create the America, a new America, in such a way that Democrats may not be able to come too far for another 25 years. They are committing mistakes, they still keep on committing mistakes, and I am very confident that Republican Party has an excellent chance to make sure that their bases are
Totally.
their bases are strengthened, the ideology is strengthened, the messaging is effective. And one more thing is that the Republican Party, of course, now lot of things, people now come to know that Republican Party exists because of President Trump.
Yes.
That is the plus point for us.
Yes.
And that is why people are now started knowing that there is a Republican Party. Many were not even aware that there is a Republican Party. So now the time has changed. And I'm very confident. I pray God. I always worship God to tell them, please keep me, my family, our community, and this country safe and great.
Neil, you said you weren't hesitating. You couldn't find your paddle.
Yeah, no, it's because I wanted to ask you, what is your definition of racism? Right? Because at the end of the day, as Hemant said before, the amount of Caucasian Americans came out to vote in herds to vote for Donald Trump, right? What is the definition of racism at this point? If you're saying that it's based on skin color or whatnot, then I could say, yes, definitely he's not a racist. I believe that he has integrated himself into the communities where, people are actually supporting him. If you're saying racism is DEI, right? Basically, if you say that you're LGBT community, that means you might get a special, quota. You can get into colleges now if you are part of a special group, right? Is that considered racism? Not in the traditional definition, right? Because race is based on your heritage. But it is some form of favoritism or some form of quotaism. So I wanted to ask you, what is your definition of racism? And if that's the case, if it's the difference between skin color or favoritism, I definitely don't think he is, because he is the one that's trying to eliminate these definitions.
Well, I'll answer your question with a question.
Okay.
Is there is there a definition of racism
It's changing.
that applies to Donald Trump?
I don't know.
Is he a racist by any definition that you can think of?
Well, I don't believe so.
Okay,
I
fair
really
enough. Angel.
So I would say Donald Trump is not a racist because by ethnicity he is not the racist, and he worked with the black, Caucasians and Latinos, and in his Trump Tower all the blacks are there, all the employees, and because of the ethnicity background, and he's the businessman. He does business with every country, and so if you look at the broader picture and on the round table, so he's not a racist. I would say that 100%.
Just the four of us told you that no, he's not racist, but the entire
Case closed.
the entire country voted for him. That's a true testament of what every heart says. Everybody says he's not a racist, otherwise they wouldn't have come and voted for him and he wouldn't be our president today. So everybody, the entire country feels he's not racist. On the flip side, if I tell you what I feel, I think he is supporting everybody. If he was a racist, he wouldn't go to a different country, Arab nations. He wouldn't go and embrace their cultures.
Yep.
He would not go and say, okay, I'm going to talk to Indian Prime Minister. I'm going to talk to the Pakistanis and say there's going to be a ceasefire. You're aware there was a huge fight. The war broke. We had, everybody was on high alert and everything.
Yeah.
If he was a racist, he wouldn't do that. So again, what is the definition of racist? He's not. He's helping everybody. He's not a racist. He does not pick a community to support them and says the rest are on your own.
Well, Rosie, he won the popular vote and he won the election,
Correct.
but you can't say everybody voted for him. And you can't say that everybody thinks he's not a racist.
Got more votes than his other person.
That's true.
Then what does that tell you?
Yes.
If people in their heart felt angry towards him, they would not have voted for him.
Yeah.
But he became a president. That's a true testament that people love him. Nobody would go and vote for you if they felt hatred towards you for any reason. Maybe they thought he's racist. But going and voting for him and yet thinking you're racist and I'm going to vote for you, I don't think it works that way.
I agree with you, but there are certainly a significant number of people in this country who do believe that, and this idea has gotten into their heads somehow.
Somebody put those ideas in
Exactly.
their head.
Bingo.
They are confused. They are confused.
Trump
about
evokes
what
an
it is.
emotion.
Yeah.
He invokes an emotion. Either you
Yes.
love him or you absolutely hate him. There's no in between.
And he
Yes.
promised what he is. He tells you who he is. He promised you certain things and he delivered.
Yep.
So if you don't think or you don't agree with him, that's on you. But at the same time, it's each individual has to figure it out, what works for them and what doesn't. But Donald Trump did not lie or promise you. He didn't break his promises. He
Yep.
kept his promise.
But I want to open this up a little bit because, the people who believe this, as we said, they believe it for a reason. Somebody put that idea in their head.
Yep,
You
yep.
said that. So I have my own thoughts about who's putting these ideas in people's. Okay, I'm just going to say it. It's the media. And I think that there's a lot of indoctrination happening in our schools and a lot of young people. Yeah, Neil, go ahead.
It goes back to what we were saying. Is it 1950s racism? Is it like where it was so clear if you fell on one side of the aisle, you were either loved or hated? 1950s racism, it was so clear. Like, you're a racist if you don't like this,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
If you don't include these people, you're a racist. If you did this, you're a racist. 2025 racism is cloaked really, really well. And so that's why I'm keep pushing the question, what is 2025's definition of racism?
In my opinion, I don't think that the people who are screaming that the Republican Party or Donald Trump or his voters are racist are very nuanced. I've been traveling the country for years, going on college campuses, going into liberal neighborhoods and doing these events, and the names I keep getting screamed at, you're a racist, you're a Nazi,
Right.
you're a bigot. So to me, it seems like a very 1950s definition where they're saying, you're a Nazi, you're a racist. It's
But
not nuanced.
It's not skin color anymore. See, so it's basically, it's your sexual orientation, or it's your LGBTQ, or it's, it's moved from your skin color to your orientation.
I hear a lot of people saying Donald Trump hates black people. And Donald Trump
No,
hates anybody
no,
who's
no.
not white. I mean, I hear on the left, a lot of people do say that.
Basically, you know why people say that?
Why?
President Biden said in one of the campaign speech, if you are not waiting for me, you are not a black.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So these thoughts are injected in the black people.
Yes.
That if they don't vote for Democrat, if they don't vote for the Democrat, they are racist.
Yes.
So we have to understand that the media, CNBC, CNN, NSW, whatever, CNN, all kind of MSNBC, this all channels. In fact, today I'm watching the Fox and I also sometimes go switch on to them. They don't talk about Trump's Saudi Arabia visit. They don't talk about the America's growth. They don't talk about the achievements what we have right now. They talk about Alcio Garcia, that guy, MS-13 stupid guy. They talk about the illegal people. They talk about they never give right message to the people.
That's right.
And that is the reason why some people who are really carried away by the thoughts about that kind of programs or that kind of anchor speeches, they are carried away and then they say that Donald Trump is a racist or the whites are racist. No, that is not the case. Now, he very rightly said that today's racism is like LGBTQ and all kind of, it is not a skin thing. It is a political ideology which creates the racism.
It's an image in their mind. Now, I'll give you an example. I served as Montgomery GOP chairwoman. So I was elected as Montgomery GOP chairwoman. That led me to door knocking. That led me to everybody's door. At that time, when people were saying to me that Republicans are racist, but at the same time, what were they doing to me? They were saying, wow, our country has come to this point where we have an elected chairwoman representing GOP who's an Indian, who's being racist now, right? So it's all in their mind how they have been trained. Some people use their mind and knowledge. Some have been trained and told that this is how things are. Same thing happens in school. Students in school, they walk in with different values. We try to change those values at home, but every day it's a battle. In the evening, they come home with new ideas, which we have to clean, send them back to school with different ideas, our Indian values, but they go back and they come back again with different values.
It's really been amazing sitting here and talking with all of you today and getting your perspective. I've absolutely loved it. As we close out today, this conversational panel with Indian Americans in New Jersey, I would love to hear, what are your hopes going forward for a better New Jersey?
Okay, so first of all, for the better New Jersey, we should have a Republican governor. Number one. Number two, the governor who matches or who carries out the agenda of President Trump. And number three is, once this is done, New Jersey is going to be proud, safe, great, wealthy and healthy.
Thank you.
Our state is going to be depending on what kind of leadership we get. If we get the right leader who's passionate, who comes to us, just like we've been passionate going to different candidates, going to different people, trying to bring them and to try to teach them or make them aware of what the Indian values are. A leader will not be a leader if they don't know what their constituents are. So we have made every effort to get to know them. They need to get to know us. So what I'm headed towards is people who are going to be inspiring, people who are going to lead our state the right way. But I want to tell you what I want to walk away from. It'll give you a picture of what I'm walking towards. I want to walk away from political party. Why? Because they are always putting power over people. I want a future where there is people over power, right? People over politics. Now, I want to walk away from schools who are failing their teaching the right curriculum. I want to walk away from the medical system that is so broken, which the power has been taken away from the patient and the doctor, put it in the hands of someone who sits behind a desk, does not know what you're going through, but they decide what tests you got to get done and what not get done. I want to walk away from bad food. If you say you are what you eat, then excuse me, what you are feeding me or what you're approving to be fed to me in the supermarkets, what is that? What does that make you? I want to walk away from that. So I want to walk away from bad food. I want to walk away from bad politics. I want to walk away from bad leadership. I want to walk away from bad medical practices. I want to walk away from school system that is teaching the wrong curriculum. I want to walk towards a brighter future, which is good for our next generation, where there's job market. Everybody should talk about job market, financial security for future. That's my goal. That's my mission. That's what I want to walk to.
Hi. So I would like to say the new fresh leadership, and that is important to different eye, different look. Our tax dollars really maintain very well, expense very well, and to utilize who are the taxpayers, all the residents should be more useful how we are spending. Next one is public safety and health. That is very important. Crime, we have to reduce specifically, and we have to increase. New Jersey should be affordable, more affordable. That is most important, because if you look at the property prices, property taxes, it is going up. Next generation cannot afford to buy, to stay in New Jersey. Even we are not able to stay really if it going skyrocketing. So the taxes are doubled almost last 10 years, and expenses are, healthcare is also very, very worst in New Jersey. New Jersey is, I would say, it is a broken. So somebody has to come and step in and to fix the New Jersey, as we are expecting the Republican governor can do all these things. Thank you.
I mean, I want to take a second to kind of encapsulate what everybody else has said. We want to walk away from wasteful spending. We want to walk away from leadership thinking that their priorities is the right priorities for the entire state, that the minority or the small group of people's thoughts outweigh the majority, the benefit of the majority. I want to walk toward the ability to make the state more affordable. New Jersey, nationwide, the average property tax nationwide is a little bit less than 1% of the value of their home. New Jersey's 2.06% of the value of your home. Why is that? Why is our taxes twice as much? Is because we have wasteful spending. We need to have leaders that actually care about us and not about themselves and promoting their agendas. We need New Jersey to care about New Jerseyans. And that's what I'm walking toward.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. You are the amazing and best.
Thank you. That was great, you guys. Thank you so much.
Let us have a
Thank you.